Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
On September 29th, the My Universe official MV was released on the Coldplay YouTube channel. Last episode, we didn't have confirmation that there would even be an official MV, so we didn't get a lot of advance notice on that. But last week, I had thought there would be a video, but I thought that it'll be kind of a low-key filmed, all in one day kind of thing. So that was totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The reasoning was that they would all need to be filming this together. And I know BTS and Coldplay didn't have a lot of time together.
Right.
Like they only did the song and probably just had time for that.
Right.
So I figured, they don't have time. So it's just going to be a basic video. But what they did is use green screen and CGI, and they used the separate filming as a key point in the video, the theme of it. So if you've seen it, you'd see that it has a dystopian space theme. And
is it even dystopian? I don't know that it is.
Yeah, there's that one ship that was kind of anti-music, the silencers.
Right.
So
I'm not sure it was just like sci-fi. I don't think it was dystopian.
Yeah, I guess it depends how you interpret that. But they had Coldplay was on one planet and BTS on another planet.
Right. And then they were just like holograms, put them together, which is kind of an ingenious way of tackling the fact they're not together.
Wow, that's brilliant. I liked all the special effects they had when one person's a hologram and it's kind of like flickering like their TV. Right. And we've seen that on different shows. So that's always like pretty cool to see. And it looked very realistic. Oh, if we had holograms, that's probably what it would look like. Like the person who's a hologram, it's like they'd look a little bit brighter, but then there's like some lines like they're on TV. So
we have holograms now.
Oh, that's true.
They're doing concerts with holograms. You know that, right?
Who have they done so far? Like Tupac?
I think they're doing a Whitney Houston one.
Oh, right. They were going to do a whole like series of concerts with Whitney Houston. Oh, and didn't they do Prince?
I think they actually look a little better than that even.
I think, for this video, they probably want it to be like obvious. Oh, that's a hologram. So they made it look like that. But I really liked the concept. It looked a lot like Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy, like all of that.
More like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because it was like rundown planets.
Right.
And like the Coldplay planet, they were like in the middle of ruins or something.
Right.
And the BTS planet, it looked like an abandoned shipyard.
Right. I don't know why they'd be in a planet like that, but
it's like, what were they doing there?
Right. It's a good video. It has great production values.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like indicative of the production values you get from, let's face it, still like American companies still have more money to sink into this stuff.
Yeah.
So I know Coldplay's not quote unquote American, but they're Western, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet the budget for this was pretty big.
It looks like millions of dollars were spent.
And you can see it on the screen, and it was a really good video. The concept was ingenious, especially since they had that to work around the fact they're not together.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I would have thought of something like that. I would have just been like, well, I don't know what we can do, but think of something. Be creative.
Yeah. And I liked the song before, but after watching the video, I kind of like it even more, honestly.
Yeah, like a good video.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is really a Coldplay. At first, I thought it was just another Coldplay song, but now I've upgraded it to this is a good Coldplay song.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that I like Coldplay, so that's high praise for me. That's high praise because I like them. So if I say it's a good Coldplay song, that's a really good song in my mind.
I can't say I've ever seen a Coldplay video before, so I don't know if this is
Are you serious? You've never seen a Coldplay video?
I mean, I listen to their music, but I don't.
Oh, well, yeah, they're not a video type. They have videos, though.
But just the fact BTS was in it was my reason for watching this video. So I think, they benefit from that. From, a lot of fans they wouldn't normally get this many views, I'm sure, a Coldplay video. But what they did with this one is, and I don't know if they hire him a lot, but they used Dave Meyers to direct this video, and he's kind of a veteran of directing big budget music videos. Like, what's weird is like that's his specialty. Like that's all he does. A lot of directors like, oh, I'll do TV or movies or a mix of things, and he only does videos. I guess that's he decided like that's my mission. So some of the notable videos he's done, he did Positions by Ariana Grande. He goes back to like the 90s. Like he did a lot of Missy Elliott videos, and he did like Britney Spears' Lucky, which is a pretty classic video.
I remember that. Well, we've already described that the song is great. Great integration of BTS. Coldplay. I already love Coldplay. The most important thing about this video, though, is that I think that maybe after 20 years, 20 long years, BTS has finally perhaps let Chris Martin know how he's supposed to dance to his own music. Because this is one of the longest running difficulties with Coldplay music. It's like, well, it's good music, but then what do you do in a video? Like, how do you dance to his music?
Yeah.
It's not dance music, but something has to happen to your body. And usually he does, you can watch this video. He does this weird thing where his arms sort of move strangely. He dances like Chris Martin. Let's just put it like that. You just have to see it, right? It's just sort of like, well, this is how you dance to a Coldplay song. Okay, it's really awkward and weird, right?
Yeah.
And then for the longest time, I thought, well, I mean, it's just hard to dance to this sort of music. It's cold. It's not a dance song. So this is probably the best you're going to get. But somehow in one video, BTS figured out how to do it better than him. So maybe he should copy them. He should take cues from them to look natural dancing to his own music. Mm-hmm. Just watch the video. You'll see immediately how it looks really awkward the way he dances to his own music. But maybe that's how he likes it. You know, he just sort of like moves his gangly arms out, right? And he looks upwards a lot. You notice that?
Well, he's not a dancer. He's just like
he's not,
a
but
singer,
this is, But dude, this is your own music, and you've been doing it for 20 years.
You have to set the stage for how people dance to
right.
it.
And then maybe BTS just ignored that and just said, this is a superior way to dance to it. We're not going to mimic you. And it looked a lot better. So perhaps he can learn something from them in that regard. Mm-hmm. He probably won't, but whatever.
A lot of people notice the design of it, like the aliens. There were some like really hot female aliens that were part of the species on this video, and then everybody like,
oh yeah,
the army was really reacting to how J-Hope was like flirting with the one hot alien, and then Jungkook was like looking towards this other alien. So I did like the choice that they made, like, okay, you know, the female aliens are like attractive, and
right.
It wasn't just like, oh, there's a blob alien or something.
Well, why would there be?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
People like to see humanoid aliens anyway, so even if it's unlikely, we like to see just like aliens that look like humans with just like different skin or like number of eyes or whatever. Typical of like Star Trek. So yeah, a lot of people thought that it caused a lot of reaction. Like some of the J-Hope fans, they were kind of jealous of this attractive alien. But what's funny is when they were filming it, probably it was just J-Hope and a green screen and just like a mannequin or something. So it's not like he was actually like interacting with anybody. I did like seeing that BTS was directed by a different person than usual, because they often use the same director for all of their videos, which I think is good because you get continuity and, you know, you tie different videos together with that same vision. But it felt different. I feel like Dave Meyers used BTS differently than normal. So I thought that was a good change. BTS announced on September 27th with a YouTube video that they would be performing in-person concerts in Los Angeles with a series of concerts called Permission to Dance on Stage LA. So this is separate from the Permission to Dance on Stage online concert that's going to be on October 24th. The LA concerts will be at SoFi Stadium, which is a new stadium that was completed in September 2020, located in Inglewood, California. So it's technically not in LA. It's actually Inglewood, which is like near LA.
It's LA.
And
for all foreigners, it's LA.
Yeah, it's all the same area.
Mm-hmm.
The concerts are going to be on November 27th and 28th, which is Saturday and Sunday, and then December 1st and 2nd, which is a Wednesday and Thursday. So this is very good news for anyone who's in California, especially if you're Southern California, because, you know, it's right there for you. So hopefully they have a lot of interest in these tickets. But, you know, SoFi Stadium is huge. So there's going to be a lot of tickets. And the thing is, I don't know if people should be worried or not worried, because if you want to go to this concert, you probably can get tickets because, it's 4 dates and it's all in one town. But I think what might limit it is like, okay, people that don't want to travel like across the country. And I think the reason that they chose SoFi Stadium is because it's been open, it's new, it's been hosting football games and like other sporting events since then, so they're equipped to handle big crowds. And I don't think it's gonna even be like less people than normal. I don't think they're gonna.
Well, SoFi is good because it's on the West Coast, right? There's lots of stadiums that are capable of handling stuff. Like they could go to Texas, they could go to Dallas.
Do you think there's a reason why they only did one city so far?
I think it's COVID restrictions. It's easier to just clear the one state.
Right. Just get
and
that.
deal with all that. I think it's just easier, and it's only 1 week. Unfortunately, I think this means that you're not going to get the great production values. Like, what are they really going to prepare for 1 week, right? The sets and all that. What are they really going to invest in all that? You'll see them live, but it won't be. They may not put a lot of energy into preparing it.
Like set design.
But after a year of not having live events, you take what you can get.
Yeah.
We're going to go to it for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to buy tickets very soon.
Definitely going to try.
I hope to get tickets as good as last time.
Yeah, that was a tragedy that we had sound check, but, that got canceled. And that was going to be at Levi Stadium.
SoFi is still pretty close.
I mean, yeah, it's a big state, and I think it's within.
SoFi is a better stadium too.
Yeah, it is newer.
It's not just newer; it's better. It has better screens and things like that.
Yeah.
Than Levi's.
And I don't think
the sight lines are better too, I believe.
I don't think they're going to decrease the capacity, like space people out for COVID, really.
No.
So I think they're going to try to have as many people as possible, which is...
No. So at least they're having something live, but the bad news is it's only in one city. So it's going to be difficult for you to... Unless you want to fly to LA.
I feel bad because that's a tough choice for people who live far away.
Right. It's going to be expensive.
And it's a hassle. But, they might have dates later. They're just... Maybe they want to see how this one goes first. And as far as COVID stuff, SoFi Stadium... You either need to have a proof of vaccination or a negative test result within 72 hours. So either one is fine. I did see a lot of Army just immediately telling everybody, get vaccinated now. And it's like, okay, people can make their own decisions. You don't have to tell people what to do.
No, but if you want to tell people, I mean, go ahead. People don't have to listen to you either.
Yeah.
You can tell people whatever you want to tell them. But you don't. You just need to get tested to go to this venue. It's very clear to make that known, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although it's soon, so this is subject to change, but it probably won't change in that amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, that would be messed up if they changed the rules right before.
Right. It probably won't change. And, LA is a good place to go. It's easy to get. The airport is I'm not sure LA is a hub, but it's a huge airport, so it probably is a hub. It's easy to get there. Lots of hotels. If they were to choose one place, that would be the place.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. I don't know that there's enough demand to support 4 dates, but they're hoping that people fly in from across the country to see them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to have a problem selling out, but I could be wrong. You never know. People might not be interested in flying a long ways or, the cost of it because it's like right already next month. They may not have enough money and time for like a whole round trip. But
we'll be watching it. We'll be watching 2 dates, in fact. We'll go twice to this, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't see everything if you just see it once. So I wonder if SoFi has the same, or whoever set the rule about you can't bring a camera, if it's the same here.
They can't stop you from bringing your phone.
Right. I mean, of course a phone is allowed, but remember... I remember the Rose Bowl, they said
Yeah, but the thing is like these days your phone is such a good camera that this is such an antiquated rule.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't bring your DSLR.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Sure, but your camera is so good these days at video and pictures that it's almost an antiquated rule, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Just everybody make sure you bring a battery so you can keep charging your phone.
Right.
And that there's enough space on it because this will take up a lot of, if you're taking a lot of video, that's going to take up a lot of storage space. So just something to watch out for. And the pre-sales are going to start. Like by the time this episode is out, it'll probably already be one of the pre-sales happening. But they actually have like 4 or 5 days of pre-sales, and it's at various stages of...
Based on what you bought.
Yeah, so if you had tickets before, luckily they give you consideration, which I thought, wow, that's really generous. That's nice. Like they didn't have to do that. They could have just, thrown us all in there in the same pre-sale. But I think that's giving a lot of credit to people that held on to their tickets and were really upset about everything being canceled, especially if you had good tickets. It's like, well, what about us?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you had VIP tickets to the last concert, you get to go on the first day of pre-sale, and then the second day is if you had any other kind of ticket, and then day 3 of the pre-sale is a Army member pre-sale, and then day 4 is the Ticketmaster verified fan pre-sale. So you have multiple chances, and you could sign up for more than one of those. So hopefully, everybody can try to get into one of those. Like if you can get into the earliest one possible, that's gonna give you a good chance at good seats.
I think that everyone should be able to get good seats.
Mm-hmm.
SoFi has good sight lines, and there's so many tickets available. I would recommend, if you're worried about that, just aim for one of the midday dates. There's going to be less demand. Obviously, Saturday and Sunday are going to be in high demand.
Yeah.
But I'm of course, the midday or midweek dates will be in lesser demand.
The Wednesday, Thursday ones, yeah.
Right. You'll get better seats.
I definitely think a lot of people want to be there at the very first concert, because that'll be the first one that BTS has done. So that one probably have a lot of demand.
Right.
So that's just something to think about. You have to be strategic with what day you want to buy, because you have to specify that for whichever pre-sale you're on. They say, well, what's your preferred day? And there's some fans out there that are like, we shouldn't be having concerts. And it's like, what is with this negativity? It's like...
Well, then don't go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, why are you like trying to ruin everyone else's time? I mean,
the solution is simple. You don't go, right?
If you think concerts shouldn't be happening, then that's your choice. Yeah.
No. They're saying that they shouldn't happen for other people either.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they think HYBE is just shoving BTS out there into danger. Like, and we're all going to get COVID.
BTS is not in danger. They're not close to people. What are you talking about?
Right. Well, I mean, they have to travel, and so then they have to like...
Yeah, but that doesn't put them in danger any more than a normal human being.
I just think there's been lots of events happening in the U.S., so this is not, this is not the first thing to happen. This is not the first event, so I don't think they're...
No, it's no big deal. There's football games.
Yeah, football games have been happening, and college football games have been happening everywhere.
No big deal.
I think it's the timing is fine because other things are happening already.
In fact, I don't understand why there aren't more dates. Why can't there be a Dallas date? Why can't there be a Florida date? They have even fewer COVID restrictions.
That's true. Some states are,
Yeah, why can't there be a Dallas, and why can't there be like a... Well, I don't know that they had a Florida date before, did they?
I don't think they've ever been in Florida.
I don't think there was a lot of demand there.
Where's there a stadium? Probably Miami?
Ethnically, it's not favorable to BTS.
Oh.
Miami, of course.
Well, yeah, you just need a football stadium somewhere.
Yeah, you just need a stadium.
Or Tampa.
No. I don't know. I don't know what the demand for BTS in Florida is. I imagine it's not zero. I just know it's higher, obviously, in areas where there's a bigger Asian population, right?
There's Atlanta. They could have done that, right?
Well, yeah, didn't they have an Atlanta date before?
I think so.
Yeah. That's kind of the Florida date then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's serve the whole South, essentially, I think.
Right? I think, yeah, they're probably...
Oh, no, didn't they have a Tampa date? I think they had a Tampa date.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember you considering getting
but then
tickets.
I thought, I don't know about Tampa. Who goes to Tampa? Yeah, so there you go. See, they could do another Tampa date.
Yeah, I bet these are all in negotiation right now, like these other places. They just don't...
Yeah, you might see more dates. I wouldn't be surprised.
So if you were someone on the East Coast somewhere, would you gamble that though? Would you?
No, I wouldn't. Well, it depends on your budget. Right. If it's a stretch for you to fly all the way to LA and see them, then of course, then just wait, see if something close to you happens.
Yeah.
But if it's not a stretch, then don't risk it. Like if the money is not important to you, then come out to LA. Yeah. Because there's no guarantee whatsoever.
And those ones might be much later. It might be like spring.
Yeah, it all depends on how much money your budget and what you're willing to spend, right?
Yeah, I think Army is responsible with what they can do. So
are they?
Well, hopefully people who bought tickets and then they got their refund back, they can use that towards this new concert if they wanted to go to it in LA. And hopefully you didn't spend tons of money on all these many other things that Big Hit put out, like all the different other concerts and merch and stuff. But yeah, they throw so many things in between that some people may have spent a lot of their discretionary money already. On October 1st, a media outlet reported that someone filed a complaint to the Fair Trade Commission in regards to BTS member Jungkook's backdoor advertisement controversy. So what this refers to is Jungkook wore some clothing from his brother's clothing company, which he was a director of. So he was like an officer of this company, but then he wore one of the shirts on a V Live, and so then someone complained that, well, that's advertising this brand without disclosing that you're, profiting off it. So someone complained to the FTC about that, and they said that BTS is representing Korea and has astronomical influence. Although he did not share any opinion about the clothing or tell fans to wear the brand, Jungkook wearing it on a broadcast and exposing it to social media is enough to increase the sales of the brand exponentially. This is a matter that can cause an imbalance in the market economy, which should be a fair market. And it's like, first of all, this doesn't need to be a fair market. Like, who said that? It's a free market. It's not a fair market. And
well, isn't that a Korean commission of some sort, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It would have to be governed by the country, right?
The Fair Trade Commission.
How is it unfair though? He didn't tell people to buy it or say, "Oh, this is a great company," and didn't tell people that he is invested in it.
Well, it's not that different than American rules regarding this thing. If you're advertising something, you have to disclose like what your relationship is, right? Like I'm sponsoring this or something, right? Mm-hmm. There's certain rules about that. They vary, and they're hazy and they're different, and it's all complicated. But there are rules that you're subject to for this sort of thing. And in Korea, perhaps they're even more strict. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not familiar with Korean law regarding this, so I can't comment about this. But it sounds like it's in that vein, right? Mm-hmm. He could very well be in breach of these laws. I can't say if he is or he isn't.
Yeah, I mean, you need like a legal opinion on
right.
that.
Yeah, I don't have a legal opinion on this. I can't even comment on the American law. I certainly can't comment on the Korean law.
I did see in the article, though, that the guidelines of the FTC say that you have to recommend it or talk about it while you're wearing it in order to break the rule about, oh, you're backdoor advertising. So the article was saying like he didn't actually violate anything just by wearing it. And he ended up leaving his position as a director of his brother's company, I guess. I mean, I don't know if he had to do that, but he just probably did it anyway, just for like optics. So then that started BTS fans trending hashtags stand for JK and protect Jungkook, because they felt like he was being unfairly criticized over this. And I don't know, the person who complained, I doubt they're a BTS fan. They're probably someone who's just like against BTS to begin with. So they just found something to complain about. That's my opinion. Like, I don't think anyone else was even like thinking about it and researching like, what is he wearing? Oh my God, that's the company that his brother is running. Oh my God, he did something unethical, like so I think, someone was trying to get him in trouble for something.
Yeah, it's so hard to comment on this stuff because you don't know the law. He could very well be in breach of it, but is it that serious of a law? And who's this citizen who brought the claim? And it's all fishy,
Yeah, an anonymous netizen.
Right. And is this a really big deal? It's not a big deal. Wow, if this was America, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. People wear their own clothing all the time.
Yeah, and who cares? They don't say anything about it.
But again, this is another one of those situations where you don't want to judge, a different country's laws or cultures. They have their reasoning for these laws, but it still seems so, even knowing very little about the laws in South Korea, I have to imagine that nothing really will come of this.
Yeah, I mean, most likely.
How could his advisors be so dumb to let him carry on doing this thing knowing that it's so bad? I have to imagine that it's not that bad. It's a minor thing if he was even allowed to do it.
Right. That's true. They look into everything. That's what HYBE does. They have like a team of lawyers. So I'm sure they wouldn't purposely let him do something that violates FTC rules. And I think that the person who filed this complaint, they just wanted it to be in the media. And then, this is the part that makes him look bad. And then, a week from now, we'll find out like, oh, FTC decided this was thrown out of court or whatever because there was no merit. So, and then that won't be as big of a story. So that's what usually happens. They just wanted to make a story out of it for the media. So it was recently found out that one of the tracks of NCT Dream's Hot Sauce album was composed by producers that are signed to HYBE labels. The information was only found out when their names were belatedly added to the credits on the official track on YouTube. So if you know Slow Rabbit and Supreme Boy, you know that they are writers for HYBE, or writers and producers for HYBE. So to see their names on a SM song, it was like, oh, well, why did that happen? It's not like they're working together with them. So what people think happened is that whoever put together the song, they used a beat that Slow Rabbit and Supreme Boy created for other songs, which people think is like these certain TXT songs. They just used one of their beats or something like extremely similar, and then didn't credit them for it. And so what must have happened is that HYBE noticed that, and they're like, oh, you guys need to fix this situation because clearly that's their beats. And so that's why their names were added to it.
This is another one of those situations where I don't think there was plagiarism, but if someone else can just come along and prove that, hey, we wrote something similar, and then you throw your hands up and say, oh, that was a coincidence, but you can't prove it was a coincidence. And in this world, it kind of leans towards the people who can prove that they did it, right? Mm-hmm. You just have to accept it.
Yeah, and I think when they listen to this in court, if it sounds the same, then that kind of looks bad.
These cases skew towards the plaintiff. Uh-huh. I think in most of these cases, it's coincidence. There's only so many arrangements of notes, right? In this world, correct? It's finite. Am I wrong? We're quickly coming upon it. It favors the plaintiff. There's a finite number of arrangements, and that's it. And people are able to prove. They just have to put them down somewhere online, somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And then just pop up and say, "Hey, I wrote this, and it sounds really similar to your thing." Like, well, of course, somebody wrote something that sounds similar to everything, right? I think this is going to be a real problem that people have to tackle in the future.
Yeah, they might need a very high-tech solution to it.
Right. Or they need to just have different rules about, I don't know, right? Because can you squat on an arrangement or a series of notes forever or for 75 years? That seems unreasonable too. In this case, maybe it's a little bit more believable because it's two K-pop companies. Mm-hmm. Whereas if it was just some person on SoundCloud and then suddenly your thing sounds close to that person's thing, I'm like, well, I didn't even listen to your stupid SoundCloud.
Right.
Right? It's just a coincidence.
That's true.
What if it's two K-pop companies or two companies that are somewhat in the same arena? Then yeah, it's more believable that it was some kind of plagiarism. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people believe it was plagiarism just because it's SM and people feel like they have a history.
Well, they hate SM. That's all. That's not reasonable though.
It's kind of a history of things.
But the larger issue is that this is going to happen more and more, and it's going to catch people who are not guilty of plagiarism, but who just coincidentally arrange something that sounds similar to something else. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the plagiarism laws in spirit were meant to punish those people, right? But I think that in the future, the vast majority of cases will punish people who just coincidentally created something that sounds like something else. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to deal with this and address it somehow. Do you think Blurred Lines was a plagiarism? No, I don't. I think a lot of these cases weren't plagiarism. Honestly, I don't. But if it sounds even close, it seems like the court sides with the plaintiff. So they're going to have to deal with this. Mm-hmm. This was a really similar situation to what happened on Olivia Rodrigo's songs. Like 3 of her songs, she added more people to the credits after the fact. Yeah. Was Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and Paramore. So yeah, if it sounds similar enough,
that's how they settle it, is just adding the extra people. And, a lot of people think that one was plagiarism. A lot of people don't. It's like divided, and there's almost no way to tell, like, did they intend to do that or not? But yeah, I don't know what they do in plagiarism courts. Do they just like play the music and it's like, okay, that sounds similar or the same? I don't know. If it's just like a human ear listening to it, like how do you decipher? But yeah, so a lot of them think that SM just stole it and tried to get away with it, but it was found out. A lot of people don't like SM, but
I understand.
They think
that doesn't mean they're plagiarists.
But HYBE gets accused of plagiarism too sometimes, but they don't add people to it, so I guess those people didn't sufficiently prove it. After releasing English versions of their Korean title tracks to widespread global success, The Feels is Twice's first original English single. So they released this track and the video on October 1st, and I think it's a pretty good Twice song. It reminded me of more of the Japanese tracks. They're more fun, and it just had like cute concept, I think. Well, I don't know if Twice is that anymore, but it was definitely an upbeat song.
I think it was. I think it harkened back to their cute concept. They were wearing high school clothing.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I like their cute concept stuff. So I was very happy. It was upbeat. I hope this is a portend of the future. And you know what? The song itself wasn't like their cute concept songs. It just sounded like they saw how BTS was successful in America. They just did sort of retro upbeat songs, and they just copied it. Then that's all they did.
It is a little
that's not bad. I think that's good.
It is falling in line with Dynamite and Butter a little bit, I think.
I think that's a great move for them.
And I think their English was pretty good. I know you're the most skeptical.
I don't know that the English was good, but it was fine. It was fine.
You're the Twice English critic.
Yeah. It was fine. Let's put it that way.
And yeah, I thought the outfits, it was like schoolgirl kind of, but it was also 90s, and it was like yes or yes.
It was like yes or yes?
Yeah. It had kind of 90s style. Like they did retro of a couple different times. Like the outfits I thought were pretty 90s because they had flannel and plaids, and then they had like they've
had that kind of stuff. Like they've had Likey, they've had plaids, you know.
And they had like small hair clips and the chunky shoes, which I thought were very 90s.
Right.
And
like good 90s movies that all ended at a prom.
Yeah.
Right.
The prom was pretty 90s to me. Like
in case, I don't know if that's still a thing, but lots of movies end at the prom.
Yeah.
Classic movies like She's All That and Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a 90s film, but it's a classic.
But it is retro, and like a lot of the elements in this were retro. Like the font was retro. It was like 70s font, and it had kind of a disco beat.
Right.
So
I mean, it all comes back to the same thing. JYP is an old man, and he's just drawing inspiration from his life. So anything from the 80s, 70s, and 90s, it's gold. Anything past that, it's ignored. Because this is JYP's company. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is.
I wonder if like the young Twice fans care about. Like they don't have any.
I think they do. I think they think it's dated, but so what? You
have
to deal with it.
Care about the 90s, you know?
Probably not. I should hope not, but you got to deal with it. Because guess who makes the decisions? JYP.
Do you think it was a lot
Although that's not fair because ITZY feels very modern. I think maybe JYP just let somebody else do that, but he takes more hands-on with Twice.
Well, he didn't write this song. He was not involved in that.
Well, just because he didn't write the song doesn't mean he wasn't hands-on.
Uh-huh.
He might have dictated the theme of the video and all that.
Right.
Whereas I think with ITZY, I think maybe he acknowledges that, hey, I'm out of touch, so I don't, you know. So for some of my groups, I'm just going to let other people handle it, and it's going to feel more modern. But for some things, he wants to take more hands-on, and Twice is one of those things.
Right, because he feels like that's...
Maybe that's his, like, that crown jewel or something.
It's his responsibility.
Yeah, or something. I have no idea. Maybe he likes them more, right? But they feel quite a bit less modern than the other JYP groups. Yeah.
They feel more classic. I don't want to say they're like dated or anything, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't say dated. Although it'd be fair to say dated too.
So I thought it was a really good video and song, and I'm happy that they're doing that they have just like regular pop songs now. It's not like 80s anymore. Although I did like some of those songs, but I liked Alcohol Free too.
But you don't know that this is gonna last.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be that they're just hopping around themes, you know?
Well, they said at the very end of this video that they're coming out with a full album.
But
November
who knows
3rd.
the album has a consistent theme?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's not. Maybe it has a bunch of Latin inspired stuff on that theme. You have no idea. Maybe it has more 80s retro. Who knows? I'll wait. I'll believe you when I see it with Twice. But I love the video. I love bringing back the sort of the cute concept, you know.
Yeah, I think this one was a good effort from
yeah,
Twice.
It was the first time in a long time that I've seen a Twice video and I thought, oh yeah, this meets all my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Every other time just felt a little bit of a letdown.
The dancing wasn't like too much. Like sometimes they just have it like over choreographed, but I felt like it fit with the video. And they had, I don't know if they were trying to do more 70s or more 90s, because some of the outfits, like when they had the cheerleading and football outfits, that looked a lot more 70s to me. So I don't know if they were trying to be more 70s or more 90s, because that's like half and half in this video.
Right.
And I also saw the lyrics video one time, and it was actually a lot more 90s, I think. It had those like pixely like internet windows from the 90s and like pop-up emojis. So yeah, I definitely think they're using like 90s retro right now, which is very current. Last week, Blackpink's Lisa was under fire for alleged cultural appropriation in the Money performance video. Lisa's hairstyle, which was in box braids, have upset fans and others. And then she had an online fan sign event for her first single album, La Lisa. One fan read a letter to Lisa about cultural appropriation, and it was with quote-unquote good intentions and to educate Lisa about the topic. Lisa was willing to listen and asked staff members to extend the fan sign meeting to 6 minutes, even though it was originally supposed to be 90 seconds. I guess 90 seconds per person? That couldn't mean like the whole thing, right?
Per person.
Yeah. So she apologized to this person and said that she had no intentions to hurt anyone, and she almost cried at the thought of hurting people because she didn't realize it was offensive. And she said that she'll be more careful next time and double check everything. And she thanked the fan for the acknowledgement. So I think that's a very odd thing to happen at a fan sign. I almost think that's pretty rude, because you're an idol and you're going to a fan sign, you expect fans to just say nice things or, have positive things to say. And then it doesn't matter if it was polite, but this letter was criticism of her. And I personally wouldn't want to hear that. I think that was rude.
Well, I'm not sure it was rude or not, but I mean, I won't belabor this too much. Everyone knows my position on cultural appropriation. Like, why are box braids so sacred? I don't understand. Would people not care if they were quote-unquote regular braids? What difference does that make?
I don't think there is any difference.
Is there? If you did regular braids, would people complain or no? I really want someone to just tell me, like, what would regular braids even look like? And if she did regular braids, quote-unquote, would she receive no pushback whatsoever? Would they just say, oh, that's okay?
I just think a braid is a braid. I don't think there's anything that makes it particularly one culture or not.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So I don't even think there was any cultural appropriation.
There's lots of things that come from a culture. I'll repeat it. You know that the regular men's suit comes from a culture, right? Did Asians create the lounge suit?
No. That was like UK.
No, they wear it all the time though.
Yeah.
The suit with the lapels and the tie and stuff. Like, you didn't create that. Why are you wearing it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Nobody's offended by it.
Yeah, it just gets adopted by
It just gets adopted because it looks good. They thought it looks good, so they all wear it now, right?
Right.
Nobody in Asia who wears that suit is mocking the people who created that suit, right?
Right.
I could understand if people wear it in mockery. That would be one thing. That's not what's happening here, though. She's wearing it because she thinks it looks good, which is the same reason why Asians wear suits, because they think it looks good and appropriate for business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the problem? I just want someone to explain it to me. And now somebody might say, well, Europeans never came across and said, hey, that's offensive to us. Okay, true. But if there were a few Europeans who went to Japan and said, hey, stop wearing suits because it's like cultural appropriation, is it your opinion that they should stop wearing suits?
No, I think people would just think, wow, that's a
Your opinion would probably be that,
strange.
who cares? Who cares if it offends white people, right?
Right.
That's probably what your opinion would be. And then my response to that would be, you're a racist. Like, so if some white people got offended that you're appropriating suits, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, it's fine because of your skin color. Oh, that's fine. No, it's not fine. Apply the standard evenly, right?
Yeah. It has to be fairly applied.
We can all wear suits. Did we all invent suits? I can guarantee you we didn't invent suits in Asia.
Yeah,
right?
they didn't independently invent it.
Should I not be wearing them? I'm not white. Should I apologize to somebody? Should I flag down the first person with white skin that I see and apologize to them that I'm wearing a suit? That's not going to happen because I don't owe them anything. I can wear whatever I want. And people can say, well, but you're missing the power dynamic. What is the power dynamic between Koreans and African Americans in the United States? There's no relation between these two people at all. What is the power dynamic?
Right.
There's no one group did not oppress the other group.
There's no history there.
If you were saying, well, white Southerners were wearing box braids, okay, that'd be one thing, right? Maybe there is a power dynamic going on there. What do South Koreans have to do with this? What does a Thai girl living in South Korea have to do with the power dynamics of hairstyles from the United States? She has nothing to do with that. Just like I can wear a suit without having to worry about what races invented suits or generally typically wear them. I don't have to apologize to anyone. I don't have to ask anyone for permission. I can wear it because I think it looks good and nice and appropriate. That's it. I would argue that's the same case with Lisa. She thinks it looks good and appropriate for a video. She's not oppressing anybody. There's no historical power dynamic between her and other people who typically wear box braids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, knock yourself out. What is the problem?
And I was seeing in the comments that most of the people seem to recognize it's just a small vocal group of Americans that are always
I think those vocal
talking
groups
about
should just be
this.
ignored.
Do you think that's the best way to handle it?
Yes,
Like, just,
ignore them. Just ignore them.
I wonder if she was just put on the spot because it was like a live thing.
When you're put on the spot, yeah, generally you want to acquiesce to people,
Right.
Unless you're very an antagonistic person.
Yeah, and she didn't have like an earpiece or anything of someone telling her, oh, here's what you need to say.
Right. So when put on the spot, of course, people will try to be accommodating. That's just natural. I think that's a normal human reaction. You're lucky to get that from her because she doesn't owe that to you.
I really think she read this letter and was like, I did cultural appropriation? Like, I don't even know what they're talking about this time. Thai people have braids too. I think this person just wants to like feel important and it's like, oh, I told her something and I quote unquote educated
people
her.
like to exert power.
They just wanted Lisa to feel bad about something.
Right. Like, look at this. I can make someone apologize to me on cue.
Yeah, I just wish that we could get rid of a lot of these like toxic elements. I don't get so many negative comments from people. It would be so much better for everybody if you just unstand people that didn't follow your standards.
Yeah, just
you know?
stop watching her stuff. Just stop watching. Like, there's so much other stuff for you to do, right? Just go watch something else that suits you better, right?
I think that would be healthier for everybody.
Yeah.
And this person got like an extra 6 minutes or whatever. So it's like, wow, by being a negative person, you got extra time with Lisa. It's like, that shouldn't be rewarded. I think Lisa handled it very well. I don't think she had to apologize, but I'm sure she wanted to be sensitive to this person's feelings. I wonder if YG is going to ban that fan from future things.
Probably. I don't even know why Lisa has fan signs. She seems too big for it now. She won't have any more. That's the end of it.
This person might have ruined it. According to an exclusive media report by Sports World on September 28th, entertainment agency Blackberry Creative, which is the company to girl group Loona, is facing a severe financial crisis. Blackberry Creative has failed to pay its wages and payments to numerous external companies and outside employees who were hired to work with Loona. And this has been happening for months, and outside employees have now been ordered to halt all work. And they're facing as much as $760,000 US in unpaid wages, as well as employee taxes, insurance, and other expenses. So the fans are kind of upset because Loona is in danger because of its company's problems. And they've decided to take some measures into their own hands. And they've been tweeting to Elon Musk for help, which I don't know if they're super serious about this or if it's just like a funny Twitter thing, but they were tweeting at Elon Musk to help out Loona, all because Grimes, who is his girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, produced one of Loona's songs before called Love Forever, and one time Elon Musk tweeted a message about Loona back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they figured, oh, it's worth a shot, see if he will like help out the company.
Right.
Do we think Elon Musk should do anything, or is this just a shot in the dark?
I don't think he has any obligation to do anything. It's to virtually no connection to them, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, how much money did they need to fix things? $1 million?
Yeah, not that much. Sounded like
that's nothing.
He's worth $200 billion.
Yeah, he could find this money in his couch probably.
He could afford it if he just wanted to. Just why not? you know?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Right? Like the housekeeping for his homes costs that in a week.
Right.
Well, maybe that's exaggerating. Not a week, but whatever. Right? He could easily afford to do this. It's worth a shot. And you know what? He's one of those people that has a strong presence on Twitter, and he just might do something crazy like this.
He is pretty unpredictable.
He does lots of crazy things that have made me money and lost me money in the past. Like his impact on Tesla price and Dogecoin price has really like swung my fortunes, I have to say. The point is he could do something unpredictable.
And he also likes to just do random things sometimes just to make headlines.
Right. It's less than $1 million. That's all? That's nothing for him.
Well, do you think he should be responsible and don't just give this company money? Like, what if they just mismanage it again?
Well, yeah, he'd ask for some kind of stock or something, but it doesn't have to be big or whatever, you know?
Because, you know, they have these problems in the first place because they didn't manage it properly.
Right. And also, keep in mind, I'm glad to hear that he's the richest man in the world again, because it should be him and not Jeff Bezos. But keep in mind that it's dictated by the price of either Amazon or Tesla that day.
Right.
And these things, they
fluctuates.
fluctuate pretty wildly. You know, they'll be trading off for a while until one pulls ahead for good, you know? That money is tied up in Tesla, though. Most of his money is not to say that this is even a lot of money. It's not. So it doesn't matter that most of his money is in stock. He could easily just cut them a check. It's worth a try.
Yeah. Maybe he should just go for it. He'll get some good press about it. The K-pop world will think highly of Elon Musk, especially the Loona fans.
But how many are there really? Although I see a lot of people say stan Loona.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a lot before. And, you know, they've had songs come out and albums. So it seems like they have enough of a fan base. So whatever the company did wrong, like they need to work on that.
Their company sucks.
They seem to have a viable group, though.
Yeah, the group is viable. They're just going to split apart. But asking Elon Musk for money, that's not sustainable either, though. If this is just a patch, it's not a sustainable solution.
Let's wish them luck on
that's the problem. I would
fixing
if you're
this.
If you're a Loona fan, I pretty much say the writing is on the wall. The company is not run well.
Yeah.
Top down, it's broken. An infusion of $1 million from Elon Musk or anyone else is not going to fix that issue, right?
Right.
Well, there you go. I'm glad I'm not a Loona fan.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can listen to BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms, or visit btshappyhour.com. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. New episodes weekly. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. And if you've listened all the way to the end of the episode, comment with a planet emoji on our latest Instagram post. Until next time, this has been BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.